Today on Donkey Interesting, we asked John Martinez from John Martinez Art the important
So I have
questions.
one question that I think is in everyone's mind when they see you guys together, and that is trust fund or giant unit.
Or maybe not so much.
Hello, everybody. I am Dan from Screaming Donkey Woodwork, and welcome to Donkey Interesting, a feature on my social media channels where I interview people that are interesting to me. I plan on having guests from all parts of my social media life to pull back the curtain and show you a little behind the scenes. Tonight's guest is John Martinez from the self-titled John Martinez Art. John is an artist and a content creator, and I find John interesting because he's a full-time content creator and artist, and frankly, that scares the heck out of me. Well, John does a few different styles of digital drawings, paintings, but one thing is for certain, his content is always entertaining. I became aware of John when he did an interview with a mutual acquaintance of ours, Brian, who you may know as Penny in the Bottle from TikTok.
So story time. Did you know that sometimes when you go into a package store and they have a life-size cutout of Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and you're a big fan of Dwayne the Rock Johnson, you can go up to the counter and say, "Hey, can I have that cardboard cutout of Dwayne the Rock Johnson?" And sometimes they say yes. Hello, sir.
Now, when John is on and I'm free, I spend at least a few minutes trying to make John laugh as he is drawing a portrait of someone. My favorite feature of his is when he draws people randomly. So, hello, John. Thank you very much for agreeing to be here today. How is Southern California treating you?
It's a little wet right now. It's actually raining outside. Well, it was raining earlier today, but yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow. We had
usually
nice
sunny,
sunny
but
day here.
yeah, yeah, but things are good. Things are busy, which is good.
So you're busy right now, huh? I figured people might be laying off a little bit due to the holiday. Or are they just trying to squeeze in as much as they can before Christmas?
For like portraits and work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually don't have a whole lot of commissions going on right now, but more other projects that are in the works right now. So like
Okay.
yeah, so I have a children's book coming out hopefully
Oh, wow.
soon that I'm like trying to finish and work on, but I keep changing the characters and the story like every couple pages, so I have to start over again. It may not ever come out. That's what I'm trying to.
That is life. So I'm going to go ahead and
Mhm.
jump into our interview here if you're okay with that. I'm going to have a
Yep.
series of questions to ask you with increasing levels of discomfort. At the
Oh,
end, you'll have opportunity to ask me a question, and it can be anything on or off topic, and I'll treat it like a truth or dare rules. So when we get to the end of my questions, I'll ask you for your question. Does that sound good?
sounds good.
Except for maybe the discomfort, right?
Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Okay.
I'll start with a not so softball question. Tell me how you made the leap into becoming a full-time content creator. How did it start? Where were you? What was your mindset at the time?
So I was working in retail. I worked in retail for 15 years, and what I was doing was a very repetitive job. So it was the same thing over and over again every single year.
Like working a
Um,
register or
no, so I worked in a I worked at Home Depot.
oh,
So,
okay.
and I was in charge of doing all the resets and like setting all the new product out and doing all like the Christmas and the Halloween stuff and the patio furniture that you see when you walk into the store. I was in charge of setting all that out. And it's just the same thing every single year at the same time. And it just got to be too much. And then the pandemic started, and we were one of those essential stores that had to stay open. So
Right.
we were there pretty much every day doing our thing. And when the pandemic shut everything down, we were like the busiest store around everywhere. So
Because it was one of the few things that was actually open.
one of the few things, and everybody sitting at their house was just, we had to renovate this and renovate that. So like they're at home, they're staring at their walls, and they're like, "Oh, this is terrible. We need to make
I
this
was
better."
definitely one of those people.
Yeah. So I was working, and it just didn't stop, and it just got very tiring, and I had always been drawing people on, let's say, Omegle, or a long time ago it was chat roulette was kind of the thing. And then I would just draw people, and here's your picture, and then get a fun reaction. And I started sharing those with some of my friends and coworkers and stuff. They're like, oh, you should post it on TikTok. I'm like, TikTok? That's for like little kids and they're doing their dances and like, what is this?
Yep.
And then I posted a few and people liked them, and it kind of blew up from there. And like one video went super viral and ended up with like 300,000 followers in like a little over a month, which was crazy. So, and then it's just started growing. So I just kept doing it.
So you started, you were just doing it for fun, like drawing people for fun on Omegle?
Yeah. So yeah, and then I had like my Twitch channel and stuff where I would go on and draw and um, have my normal drawing art streams and stuff like that. And then once the pandemic started, I started posting on TikTok. Started gaining a little more momentum, and then at the end of October 2021, I took that leap and quit. Scariest thing I ever done. Like
Yeah,
15
I can
years.
imagine.
Yeah. No, yeah, it
Everyone
was
asks me all the time, like, when are you going to do woodwork full time? And I always respond the same thing, never. Like, because I think I'm in quite a bit different boat. Like, I'm not doing something that's repetitive or anything like that. But the thought of it itself, I've owned a business before, and I realize like how much you carry on your shoulders doing that. I don't think a lot of people think, oh, you work for yourself, you could do your own hours. That must be awesome. There are parts of it that are awesome, but there are parts of it
y
that are very
yeah.
scary.
You're like, "Yeah, I need to eat, so I need to make money somehow now," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's not always consistent being an artist, or, like, commissions don't always roll in, so I'm not always."
And you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but are you making more from your social media? Or are you making more from your art?
It's right now, it's about 50-50. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I supplement more because I had the opportunity to start making ads for TikTok, so that's the money is a little better there, but, yeah, social media in general doesn't make me a whole lot of money. I mean, like the battles, like the TikTok live streams and stuff, they make me, a good amount of income. I mean, not like I could live off of it, but it's nothing like I can, pay all my bills with. So I still, yeah,
You're not gonna be driving a Lamborghini anytime soon with
no,
your TikTok
no,
money?
yeah,
No?
we're
Okay.
trying to save money for,
Yeah, me
a
neither.
house and stuff like that too. So it's a process. Yeah, if you've owned a business, you know how it goes.
Okay, so that's a good segue into my next question. You said we're going to buy a house. For those that don't know Jessica, Jessica is John's significant other. So I think everyone who knows you knows at least that Jessica exists and that you guys are together. So I have one question that I think is in everyone's mind when they see you guys together, and that is trust fund or giant unit.
No, no comment. No comment.
No, no. Joking aside, I know you guys are partners. I know you guys are sort of serious, but I have no idea the history there. So can you enlighten me? How about like telling me how you guys met, started dating, and how long you guys have been together?
About 2 years ago, I was hired by Jessica to do a portrait of her and her children. I was going to print out the portrait. She was going to get a printout. So I figured since she lived pretty close, she actually lived really close to me with like 45 minutes, actually an hour. Yeah, about an hour away. And
Maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Maybe an hour
maybe an
and
hour and 15 minutes.
20.
Wasn't that,
Did you
yeah.
know what she looked like beforehand?
Well, I drew her
That would be
picture.
my question there.
So,
Oh yeah, so you drew her portrait already. So
so
you
I
know
drew her
she.
portrait.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew what she looked like.
Yeah, so if she would have lived 2 hours away, you probably would have driven out to see
Maybe, probably.
her.
So I drove down there. We had already planned to kind of meet up and with another guy from the stream. This is when I was solely like on Twitch as my main streaming kind of service. And then we met up. I dropped off her picture and then we went out to get some food and drinking, and we went to do some axe throwing, which I
That's
was
always
pretty
fun.
good at. Jessica could be a little better. I'm not going to trust her in the zombie apocalypse anytime soon.
So you're not gonna let her do a
No,
William Tell on you, no apple
no.
on your head with
Although
the
it
okay.
probably won't stick, I'll probably get like the butt end of the. So yeah, and then after that, we kind of hung out. after that a little bit, and one thing led to another, and 2 years later, it's gotten pretty serious.
So
We
looking at
Yeah.
buying a house now together then, huh? That's pretty
Yes.
serious.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
pretty serious. Yeah, we're looking at it, trying to find a house somewhere close. Yeah, every penny that we're making right now is just going towards the house fund, that's the goal.
Very good. Next question is like a music question. So I used to think that I listen to every kind of music, but every time I come in your channel, you prove me wrong. And I realize there's a reason I don't listen to every kind of music. I'm just curious what exactly your kind of music is. Because I'm always confused. It's a serious question.
It depends on my mood, I guess. Like I'll jump back and forth between country
Okay.
when I'm working on artwork stuff. Like when I'm in my zone, I'll be listening to movie soundtracks, specifically stuff that doesn't have.
Hearing movie
Yeah, so
soundtracks.
yeah,
That's
like
a lot of
tip
what I
right
must be.
now on my streams, I've been playing a lot of movie soundtracks. You'll
So I wasn't trying to be mean. I hope you do realize that at this
No.
point, it is my job. Like it has become part of my
Mm.
job to poke fun at people's music selections.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
because they can come on my channel and request whatever they want. So they always expect me to have some sort of reaction to whatever they put up, and
Yeah.
usually it's critical.
Yeah, yeah, and then I've been trying to like listen to the more pop culture type stuff that's going on right now, all the trendy stuff to kind of keep up with the TikTok audience because I
Yeah,
don't know any of these people.
my music is coming back around. So, I graduated in the 90s, and so like a lot of that stuff is become popular again. So a lot of the stuff is on TikTok again. So that makes me happy.
What year did you graduate?
96.
Okay, I'm 97.
Okay. So you're only 1 year younger than me.
What really depresses me is that we have I don't know if you have it out there, but we have a radio station called Cola, and it's oldies. But now
And
the
it's all our
oldies that
music
they
now.
play is our music.
Oh yeah, same here. My wife pointed it out to me the other day. I'm like, oh, this is a good radio station. I'm like, I'm like, what station? She's like, oh, this is the oldie station. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because I remember
oh,
growing up
awesome.
and the channel it had when my dad was listening to it was like the 60s, 70s. Now it's 90s, 2000s. I'm like, oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, there's. I don't think there's anybody who listens to big band music anymore.
Oh no. Yeah, they play like
There-
No Doubt on the oldie station. I'm like, oh my gosh.
All right, so now the big question. What's your goal? Like what are you trying to achieve? Like what would you consider success like within the next 3 years or so?
Get my book out for one.
So it's a kids book you're
It's a
working on.
illustrated children's book, yes. Yeah, I'm still working on finishing that up. Once that's out, I can work on. We already have other stories in the works with the main character, so it's going to be a series of books versus just a one-off, and then hopefully being able to take that.
So is it a novel or
No,
is it
it's going to
more
be
of
a
a
32-page
more
like standard children's book you'd find on like Barnes and Noble or something like that. Yeah, so
okay?
and then I'm going to put it out on Amazon to start, and then once I might
Are you going to
I'm
self-publish?
going to self-publish. Once it's out on Amazon, hopefully I can make enough, or maybe just do a Kickstarter to get a physical print made. Although Amazon is I found is changing a little bit, so they'll be able to print hardcover books, which is what I want. Right now, it's just soft
Oh, like
cover.
print to order type
Yeah,
deal.
it's all print on demand, so which is good. So I don't have to worry about the printing. It's just they take a cut, and just learning the
Yeah, I gotcha.
process in general is pretty tough. I just went through a whole course with this group of artists to do children's book illustration and all that kind of stuff, and just trying to find a printer, like because you have to go out to China and try to find these book printers, which is hard, and to try to negotiate with them to get the best price, and it's pretty expensive.
Especially if they think they're only going to deal with you one time. So they're going to try to get as much money
Yeah.
as they can out of you every single time they deal with you. Unfortunately, I know a lot about that world.
Mhm.
Actually, that was my first career coming out of the military was bookbinding.
But yeah, other than the book, it's I mean, other than the book, yeah, just continuing with social media and getting my YouTube channel get up and running. Right now, I think because of the book and all the other projects I have going on, it's hard to balance. Like it's so funny. Like when I quit my job, thought I would have a whole lot of time to do all this stuff, and I don't have any time to do anything. like I my brain has me in 10 different things going on, so I'm constantly thinking of other stuff and like starting projects but then never finishing stuff. So
Oh, see, I'm very aware of that, so I know that's why I always say I'm not leaving. One of the bigger reasons I'm saying I'm not leaving my day job, but I think probably you're the very similar to me is where you want to have 10 balls up in the air at all time, right? So like
mhm,
if you don't, like if you got 7, you're gonna find 3 more to throw up. So,
yeah,
and that's just that's how it is, and you don't have the time. It all becomes about scheduling and prioritizing, right? So
yep,
that's just what my life is. So, and I'm sure that's what your life is, right?
yep, exactly.
So, who is the biggest influence on that? Who would you say supported it the most, or that you're maybe following in the footsteps of within your life?
Probably my mother would have like the biggest impact on the whole children's book thing and getting to that point. We
Is
actually,
she an artist?
yeah, she's an artist. She doesn't claim to be an artist. Like she I
She's
try to get her
artistic.
like she's very artistic. She does a lot of coloring book stuff. So she actually has her own channel
Oh
on
wow.
Instagram and she posts stuff and she basically takes a regular coloring book. So she's got these really nice coloring books and it's a very minimal drawing, but she'll make it like this elaborate thing. Like stuff that's not in the on the page, she draws it in, she colors it, she paints it, like she does all this stuff and it's amazing. Yeah, I try to get her to do like time lapse videos. I'm like, this is
Oh
what you
yeah,
do.
that
Just set it up. Just set
that,
your
that would be
phone
so cool.
here and just let it point down and just do your work and then just post it. She's like, I don't know how to do all that. Like, so she'll like post the finished result, and then she'll
Right.
get a lot of comments like, "This is amazing." But yeah, trying to get her to do a time lapse video would, yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
So was she always doing that when you
Uh,
were a kid growing up, and then did she encourage you in your art?
no, actually, she didn't really start getting into it, as far as I know, until the last few years. But we had worked on another children's book a while back for a nonprofit organization. We kind of I kind of know the process, but it's that particular book was a monster. It was like 250 pages. Half of it was I don't know, yeah, there's just curriculum that I had to go teach. I actually went to China because of that book.
Oh wow.
The people with the nonprofit said, "Oh, just come out. Go to China with us," because there was a bunch of teachers and they would go to China every
Oh
year.
yeah, going to China, that's like
They
totally
would
normal, coach.
they would teach middle school kids kind of like American culture and like values and stuff like that. So it was during an English learning camp in China. It was actually pretty fun, but they kind of tricked me. It was like, um, here you're gonna just gonna go and draw like pictures, hang out with the kids. But when I get there, they're like, oh no, you're gonna teach a whole curriculum. You're gonna teach the book you just created to all these kids. And I'm like, oh
Oh
my
wow.
gosh, like what? What do I gotta do? So I never taught little kids anything in my life. I did the stuff I needed to do real fast. And then we kind of played games and drew characters and played the entire time. But it was fun. It turned out to be a lot of fun.
So that was with your mom then?
No, so it was my mom actually helped us write the book, um,
Okay, I got you.
write the story and all that kind of stuff. We had to put it together and ended up going to China because of it, which is the experience. Yeah, food is good.
So as you were growing up, did she support your art?
Oh yeah,
Did she like encourage you to be artistic? Did
yeah. So I mean,
or push you into it in any
I
way?
initially went to school for animation, and she helped out with that and just getting me going. I mean, she's always been encouraging, always supported me.
So like college level? So you went college level school for animation?
Yeah, but then I ended up leaving because there was a whole situation there. Just because I wasn't learning anything, and the the school was being sued, bad reasons. Like they were like basically stealing our money and just giving people
Are you
degrees.
trying to say that some colleges are just in it for a profit and don't care if they're
Yeah,
really educating the students? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so basically, yeah, so I left.
I've seen that happen so many times.
I wasn't learning anything, and people were leaving the school with no artistic, like, it was hard to see people graduating that couldn't draw a circle. I I felt bad for these people because they were, like, spending so much money, and they weren't gonna find a job, not with what the
Yeah.
skills that they had. And yeah, I mean, some schools, yes. I mean, I probably could have chosen a better school.
My wife and I were just talking about something similar. She's watching the replays of the girls who are becoming Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and like two of the girls on there had like college degrees in like dance, and I'm
Mm,
like, they will really just take your money for anything now,
yeah,
right? Like, if you're willing to do it, they're willing to take your money to pay for it. They're willing to take your money for it. And I was thinking, like, why wouldn't you just go to a school of
right.
dance if you want to learn how to dance better? Why would you get a college degree in dance?
Yeah.
And it kind of feel like that with artistry too, is like, get a mentorship, find somebody who can mentor you through it, or find an acclaimed school if you can, like if you can. But I think like the most important thing with art, the communities that we have now are fantastic. So you can get feedback from a bunch of different artists if you really want
Mhm.
to. Sometimes that's hard, makes me cry a little bit inside.
Yeah, there's tons of workshops out there, like YouTube University. I wish I had
Oh yeah,
back then. You can learn so much just watching YouTube.
I swear they should teach classes in how to search things on YouTube and Google.
I learned how to fix my washing machine on YouTube.
My last and most important question, John, is: should I keep doing this, or you think it's better off if I call it quits?
Should you keep doing your woodworking?
No, the interviews.
Oh, the interviews. Should you keep doing the interviews? Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
you think I'm doing okay
I think
with
you're
it?
doing great. Yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah, I actually, I want to do something similar to this. Called If Portraits Could Talk. That's my show on YouTube. I've actually done a few of them, and they went okay, but now I feel like I have a better understanding of how everything works, like with the interview systems. But yeah, you're doing awesome. I I, I wouldn't change anything.
The learning curve is pretty quick with it, though. That's what I feel like. I feel like kind of I'm I know that I every time I could do a little bit better, but I feel like I learn so much every single time that I do it.
Mhm.
So I think that you just got to do it, and I think probably by interview 10 I'll be comfortable with it.
Yeah. You'll be eating hot chicken wings by the end of interview 10.
The hot ones. I love that one. So at the end of my questions, John, is there anything that you would like to ask me?
Yes.
Did you prepare your interview question?
So this is kind of similar to the questions I kind of ask people when I draw them. Talking about your woodworking kind of stuff. If you could build anything for anybody, but they had to use it every single day, what would you build for them and who would you build it for?
Oh man, that's a really good question. If I could build anything for anybody, oh man.
I've stumped him.
So I don't have that one's really hard. Can it be a fictional person?
Sure. We'll go. We'll allow it.
A lot of the people that I really looked up to have died. So they got old and they passed away. So like going I would love, and I think this would be the case for anybody, but even non-fictional or whatever, like I would love to make like the presidential desk, like to
Mm.
actually make the desk that all the presidents put their stuff on. So Republican, Democrat, I don't care. I think it would be really neat to have a piece of history would transcend. I think right now I feel like a lot of what we are missing as a society is getting on the same page. And it sounds stupid, and I know in building some desk isn't going to bring people together like that, but I think just general respect for our president is something that has been missing over the last uh, several years. And I think that's kind of where we start. We all have to agree that, like him or not, this is our president. So that's what I would do. I would do something to symbolically show that, hey, as a country, we need to stand behind whoever it is, whether we like him or
Yeah.
not.
No, that's a good one. I like that. Would you have like little hidden compartments and stuff inside your
Oh yeah,
desk?
for sure. One be like Bill's cigar loader, Diet Coke delivery system.
Yes. Little compartment, the big red button comes out the top.
Once again, John, thank you for agreeing to be here. Why don't you tell everybody where they could contact you or find you?
Yeah, so but thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Thank you.
my website is where you'll find all my socials, johnmartinezart.com. Every one of my socials is the same, John Martinez Art, across all the channels, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's all the same. I cornered the market of John Martinez Art.
So I will post up links to everything in the description in this video. So thanks, John, and thank all of you for watching. If you like what you see, why not drop me a subscription and smack the like button like it's driving a panel van and trying to take your younger sister to homecoming. And while you're at it, check out John's work. You can find all the links to it in the description to this video. Remember, don't get bored with what you're doing. Grab life and mold it to what you want it to be. And don't forget to get weird with wood. If you haven't had enough punishment, you could check out some of the other interviews here where I use a bad camera and I didn't try as hard. Thanks.